Civilizations do not collapse the moment their walls fall. They collapse the moment they forget why the walls existed. Ancient Jerusalem lay in ruins, its gates burned, its defenses shattered, its people scattered and exhausted. But the greatest danger was not the broken stone. It was the loss of boundaries, because once a civilization can no longer protect what is sacred, everything enters, and eventually, nothing remains. Welcome to Code of Scripture. This afternoon, we decode the book of Nehemiah, not as ancient history, but as a blueprint for rebuilding consciousness after collapse. Because Nehemiah is not just about restoring a city, it is about restoring the walls between worlds. Nehemiah begins with devastating news. Jerusalem's walls are broken. Its gates have been destroyed by fire. To modern readers, this sounds military. But ancient walls were more than protection. They represented identity. A city without walls was psychologically exposed, vulnerable, open to invasion from every direction. Spiritually, the broken walls symbolize what happens when a people lose their inner structure. No boundaries, no sacred center, no separation between truth and noise. Everything enters at once: fear, influence, corruption, distraction, false gods, foreign systems. The city becomes porous and eventually unrecognizable. Nehemiah is not a king, not a warrior, not a prophet in the traditional sense. He is a builder. This matters deeply because civilizations are not restored by outrage alone. They are restored by reconstruction. Nehemiah surveys the ruins silently at night. He studies the damage before speaking publicly. This is symbolic wisdom. Before rebuilding consciousness, you must first see clearly where the fractures are. Not deny them, not romanticize them, see them. The modern world suffers from broken walls too. Constant stimulation, algorithmic intrusion, emotional exhaustion, collapsing attention spans, endless digital access to the human mind. The gates are open permanently, and the nervous system never rests. As the people begin rebuilding Jerusalem's walls, they are mocked immediately. Enemies surround them, threats emerge, fear spreads. Why? Because broken systems benefit those who profit from chaos. Nehemiah describes workers rebuilding with tools in one hand and weapons in the other. This is one of the Bible's most powerful metaphors. Creation requires protection. Every sacred structure must defend itself while it is being rebuilt. The same is true psychologically. The moment someone begins rebuilding, attention, discipline, identity, spiritual focus, the noise intensifies, distraction increases, temptation returns, old patterns fight for survival. Because the machine prefers open cities, walls interrupt harvesting. In Code of Scripture, the wall represents consciousness boundaries, not isolation, discernment. A healthy wall does not imprison, it protects what matters. Ancient cities needed gates because gates allowed intentional entry. Not everything belonged inside. Modern civilization has removed most gates entirely. Every thought enters, every notification interrupts, every algorithm demands emotional access. The result is psychic exhaustion. Nehemiah symbolically asks a terrifying modern question: what happens when a civilization loses the ability to filter what enters its collective mind? Eventually, it forgets itself. The rebuilding of Jerusalem is not merely architectural, it is spiritual restoration. Stone by stone, the people recover memory, not nostalgia, identity. The wall tells the civilization, this is who we are, this is what we protect. This is what we refuse to surrender, and perhaps that is why Nehemiah still matters now. Because modern people are surrounded by systems designed to dissolve boundaries. Endless consumption, constant surveillance, emotional manipulation, digital dependency, algorithmic overstimulation. The modern machine does not destroy the soul directly. It overwhelms it until it cannot defend itself, Nehemiah reminds us. Restoration begins when boundaries return. The walls of Jerusalem were eventually rebuilt. But the deeper message was never about stone. It was about consciousness. A civilization survives when it remembers what must remain sacred, what must stay outside, and what deserves protection, because not every open gate is freedom. Sometimes, an open gate is an invitation to collapse. This was Code of Scripture, Nehemiah Decoded, and perhaps the most important walls are not the ones around cities, but the ones around the human mind.